And when we go out and we're walking together out in public, people always tell us, "Oh my God, you guys look like the perfect couple. You guys look so beautiful together. You guys as children are going to be so beautiful." And it's not because of our looks, okay? It's because we're vibrating that love, you know? When we're together, our love is exponential. Hey, conscious creators, are you tired of feeling lonely, attracting the same person over and over again, or do you feel stuck in a toxic relationship? Well, today, I'm going to show you how to attract your soulmate. But first, I'm going to tell you how I did it. At the beginning of 2015, I was in a long-term toxic relationship filled with unhappiness, unfaithfulness, dishonesty, and had lost all intimacy. So somewhere towards the end of that relationship, I decided that that's not who I wanted to be with, that's not who I wanted to be, and that I wanted to be happy. After a series of events, I finally found the strength to leave. Now at that time, I wasn't very money conscious, i.e., I was broke, and the only place I thought that I could afford was renting a room for my best friend in South Central Los Angeles. For those of you who are unfamiliar with South Central LA, it is a certified ghetto and is filled with poverty, depression, anger, and victimization. Wow, did I not create the best place for my vibration, huh? Like always attracts like. The internal always creates the external. Remember that throughout this video. At that time, I was very depressed, I was heavily drinking, and I was indulging in narcotics to numb the pain. But I knew, deep down inside, that that wasn't curing me, that wasn't healing me. In fact, that was only making things worse. So I started to work on myself. I decided to start going to the gym, to start meditating, and to start using positive affirmations. Meanwhile, I was still, had my toxic traits. I was still indulging in those toxic things, but day by day, I was doing more healthy things, and I was trying to work on myself. I was bettering myself because I felt so low and hit rock bottom so hard that the only place I could go was up from there. Now, in order for you to fully understand this story, we need to flash back to the year 2012 when I was working at a music college in the administrative offices, and a young lady walked in one day to register. As soon as I saw this girl, my energy completely changed. It was love at first sight. The only way I could explain it is that it felt like my soul was kicking me in the chest, kicking me right in the heart, and telling me to wake up. Now, the opposite of love is not hate, and the opposite of hate is not love. The opposite of love is indifference. If someone you love walks in the door, your energy is going to change. Someone that you hate walks in the door, your energy is going to change. If someone that you are indifferent towards walks in the door, you're not even going to bat an eye. So, as soon as she comes in, I offer to help her. I'll help you register. And she feels my bombastic energy. And that kind of turns her off. Like, whoa, you're really strong energy there, guy. So what does she do? She goes and sits next to my coworker for help, who just so happens to be a gay man in his late 40s. So, of course, he was indifferent towards her and was giving off a much calmer, welcoming energy. Now, I would run into this girl periodically for the next 3 years in the most random and weird ways. Flash forward back to 2015. It's now summer, and I'm working on myself, and I'm getting into these positive, healthy routines. And one day I'm doing a meditation for no other reason than because it helps me feel more elevated, because I felt so stressed. I felt better. Even if I was feeling at a 2 after my meditation, even if I was just feeling at a 3, I was coming out, A lot of times I'd feel like a 4 or a 5. I'm like, whoa, maybe this stuff actually works, And I was just doing it because I felt so low. So I go into a meditation, I go really deep, and for the first time, I just feel this incredible amount of love. It felt like I was sitting there with the Creator. It felt like my highest self was there for me, and that everything was going to be okay, and everything was pure bliss and pure joy. And in that moment, I just asked the Creator, please bring me something that is equivalent in my life to this feeling. so I can feel this way more often in my life. Finish up that meditation, have a great day. Couple days later, I'm not connecting the dots here at that time. A couple days later, I decide to contact that girl from 2012. Since we had ran into each other a couple more times, I had friended her on Facebook, and for whatever reason, I was probably feeling lonely, and I contacted this girl. Now, she probably would not have even texted me back unless this happened. She told me that she thought about me the day before. Now, we weren't on each other's radar at all, so it was very mysterious to the both of us that she had randomly thought of me, right? So we decided to go on a couple dates, we start seeing each other, and before too long, I am madly in love with her, okay? Even though I'm still toxic and working on myself, she's, she actually just got out of a relationship a couple months prior to that too, and she's still working on herself and she's fixing herself. And I'm like, hey, I don't want to be in a relationship. She's like, I don't want to be in a relationship either. Perfect. Let's hang out. Like attract likes. Remember? So we start hanging out. I'm madly in love with her. And I just feel like I've known this soul for thousands of years. And at that time, I didn't even believe in reincarnation. I was losing faith in karma. And I never felt like that with anybody else. What do? I start coming on stronger and, making more advances in our relationship and trying to take things a little bit faster. That starts creating more separation because I'm trying to control an outcome. This is key, okay? I'm trying to force something to happen, kind of like when I first saw her. And life starts turning and shifting, and all of a sudden, she's working out of town all the time. A few other external things are coming in between us. One of her family members is saying that we're not right for each other and things like that. And it's just hurting me so bad because I love this person so much. I remember I would just sit in my car and cry because we couldn't commit to each other fully 100% because of all these little things in between. So one day, after, not seeing each other for a long time because she had been working out of town and she was in town again. So I decide that I cannot be with her anymore. And I go to her house, I get these beautiful flowers, and I give these flowers to her, and I'm going to tell her, hey, I can't take this anymore, and we can't see each other anymore. And as soon as I bring her those flowers and see the smile on her face, there's no way that I could tell her that. And all that she's thinking is I'm bringing her these flowers, and that's, actually bringing us closer together. And at that point, it was kind of my point of surrender, okay? I'm not trying to force things to happen anymore. But at this point, I couldn't tell her no if I tried. A couple weeks later, I was in a touring band, and we were actually playing in the town that she was working in from out of town. And I invited her out to the show. And I didn't know this at the time, but she was actually going to tell me, hey, we can't see each other anymore because it's just too difficult. And as soon as she saw me, she fell in love with me even more, and we couldn't, and there was no way that she could have told me that. So that was her point of surrender. We basically gave it up. We gave it to the Creator. There's a point where you have to surrender what you want. You have to surrender your creation. And this was all subconscious to us. Now I know the process. Now I know the steps, and I can tell them to you. A couple weeks after that, I go and visit her, and we decide that we want to take this relationship serious. We want to take it to the next step, and we commit long term, and we commit to being our best selves and working on ourselves and bringing our best selves to the table. And our love just expanded. And here we are, 6 years later, we're happily engaged, getting married soon. And when we go out and we're walking together out in public, people always tell us, oh my God, you guys look like the perfect couple. You guys look so beautiful together. You guys' children are going to be so beautiful. And it's not because of our looks, okay? It's because we're vibrating that love. When we're together, our love is exponential. I'm working on myself, she's working on herself, and together, it's a very, very big energy. Now, I'll tell you what, when we're having a bad day, when we're not on our best together, people don't tell us that. No. And it's more oftentimes than not that we are on a good day. And when we're off on a bad day, we constantly work to get back on track. And every day, I am grateful. I thank the Creator for bringing me this soul. And I know that I'm going to be with her in next lifetimes. And I hold a vision in my mind every day of us being very old together and having created all these magical things and all these beautiful things. And so it takes you also creating yourself and creating your destiny with your partner. And you guys got to be on the same track. Like attracts like. When she came into the picture, she still had her toxic traits. When I came into the picture, I still had my toxic traits because we were a vibrational match. But the other part that we were a match to was that we were both working on ourselves. So, here's me, here's her, we lift up. No one brings each other down. We're constantly going up and lifting each other up to the next level. And I assure you that if you put out that intention and you start working on yourself, that you too can find your soulmate. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you guys 3 ways that you could start attracting your soulmate into your life. The first is make a decision to change, okay? You have to make the decision that you're going to take control of your life, you're going to take control of your love life, and that you're going to change internally to create the external life that you want. Remember, the internal always creates the external. So, you have to take responsibility for your life. You have to refuse to be a victim for your circumstances that you've now created. And you have to decide the type of person that you do want to be. You have to create the person that you want to fall in love with. And how we're going to do that goes right into step 2. We have to put these decisions into actions. We have to start doing what that person that you would want to be with would do. So, if you want to be in a faithful relationship, stop texting your ex. Stop talking to other people. Things like that. If you want to be with someone who's honest, stop telling those little white lies. Take a deep, hard look at yourself. If you want to be with someone who's attractive and fit and healthy, start going to the gym, start eating better. You know what you have to do. This takes us right to the 3rd step. Once you're doing these physical things, these external things, so to speak, we're going to give you some affirmations to help you start reprogramming all those subconscious beliefs that have been with you since before you even can remember. And these are things like you're unworthy and, true love doesn't exist. It might be different for everybody. It's going to be a little bit different for everybody. And so through these affirmations, you listen to them as much as possible until they come from your conscious brain all the way into your subconscious brain. And then your internal will start creating your external. If you're in a serious toxic relationship right now, don't be surprised when you guys start splitting apart because you're changing your vibration and you're leveling up. And the person that they knew, the person that they were attracted to that made this relationship is no longer there because your vibration has changed. So you guys are no longer a vibrational match. You guys will split. And don't be surprised when that happens. The other thing that might happen is that person might see you changing and they want to go up to your vibration. So it's either they're going to try and pull you back down or you're going to have to lift them up. And I can almost tell you right now that if you're in this toxic relationship, they're not going to want to come up. If there's someone that's already trying to work on themselves, then you would know that and you would be working on yourself too because you guys would be in a vibrational match. Just like I told you about my relationship. So, I've made some affirmations for you to listen to. Listen to them as much as possible. Let them sink into your subconscious brain. They'll be appearing on the screen now.